Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of It's a DARMAR. Today I have one friend, he's a real friend of mine in this industry. His name is Nemanja Stankovic and he's an amazing artist that does concept art, he does characters and hard surface stuff, and he worked in CD Projekt RED. He's amazing guy also, and I'm very happy that he finally decided to join me on this stream. Hi Nemanja.
Hey Darko, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure as well, man.
I'm so happy that you will draw me also, with that you can see on my screen. And
Amazing
artist. And that makes me very happy to see it on the screen, my face as usual.
Yeah, I know you're happy.
So he's amazing. We are starting with this, and you will be sketching for us, right? What did you say that you will do with my head?
I don't know, man. Let's give you a cool piece of armor, something like that.
Yeah, cool piece
Sci-fi,
of armor.
of course.
I see. That sounds good. And that sounds good for me. Sounds good. So let's do it then, and then let's talk about you and your career and see how did it all start. I want to know, you worked in CD Projekt RED, and that's the first thing I want to talk about. How did that happen? How did you go there? Did they contact you, or you contacted them? How did it work?
Oh shit, dude. Well, for me, I gotta say that was like one of the best moments in my career.
Let's do it then, and
it was a really great opportunity to go and work in like one of the largest companies in the world. And as far as how it went, I think it was, I don't know if it was the second or the third Trojan horse. I went there. The previous summer, I was having a class with, I gotta say, Anthony Jones. And we were doing some concepts and stuff. Like at the end of the course, he suggested it might be a good idea to go there and like connect with people. And it turned out like it was one of the best advice I ever got, one of the best decisions I ever made in my like professional career, because it resulted in me meeting a bunch of like cool people from CDP there, and they ended up inviting me to come over to Poland to work with them.
Yeah, that must have been fun to come and work in such a big company like CD Projekt RED. I can only imagine what you learned there.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, at the time I was working like I was a professional. I mean, I worked on a few like okay stuff. I was working with Games Workshop, so that was kind of cool. But like nothing compared to the level of stuff that we were doing when I went over there, and like the quality of my work once I went there and like spent like maybe 6 or 7 months. I was there for 2 years, but like after 6 or 7 months working with those people, I worked on those level of artists there. Like I really saw some major improvements in my workflow, general quality of work, and yeah.
Yeah, I see. I have one question because I'm watching at the screen, and your screen tends to change from the full screen of Photoshop to the screen with tools. Are you changing that, or it's automatically there?
Oh, yeah. You mean this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me sometimes because like I can't move the canvas.
Okay, because it's strange, all the time flipping like that. I never saw anybody work like that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see a lot of strange shit.
so I was like, is that a normal thing or what? Because I was like, is that a bug or something? But okay, fun to see something new.
Yeah, let's make you bigger.
Please, don't like me. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's some amazing proportions of my body.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. You're gonna see. Like, I don't want to cover your face. I want to keep it there.
Please don't cover my prince face. But I want to know. So you went there. How long did you stay in CD Projekt RED, and what did you work on there?
I was there for 2 years, almost 2 years, and I worked on Gwent, the their what's it called, Witcher spin-off, the card game that was in Witcher, and then they made like a standalone product that was like supposed to compete with Hearthstone at the time, I think.
I see. Yeah, and it came out like 2 years ago, if I remember. It came out.
Oh yeah, I mean the project itself like went through so many phases, like while I was still there, and even more phases once I left. So it was originally supposed to be like everything in a single game, but then they broke it off into a couple of pieces. Like the single player got turned into Thronebreaker, the like, single player adventure game, something that had like third person view, top view, like Diablo type of gameplay, but you still like fought battles with cards like in Gwent. So yeah, the project changed a lot, but like the core of it, like, and the stuff that I was working on was just like illustrations for the cards. So that was pretty much the same during the entire production phase.
I see. And I know that you can do both fantasy and hard surface. And what I want to know is how can you do both? Because many people do only one thing. And how did that happen that you can do both things on a high level?
I don't know, dude. Like, it was just like stuff that I was always interested in. Like my love for fantasy and for sci-fi like was never I don't know, divided. Why would you say? Like it was just always like the same for me. Like I loved them both equally, so I was interested in both equally. So kind of like the stuff that I did in my spare time, like once we all started, like you did stuff just like for fun, you know?
Yeah.
So for fun, I used to draw like both sci-fi and fantasy, and it all like excited me equally. So just translated, like when I started working, I could do both. Like I may be like now because I haven't worked on a fantasy project in a while. I think like I might be slightly better at sci-fi stuff simply because like I spent a lot more time like looking at those shapes, and that's like really important for your what's it called, visual library. Yeah.
That's interesting because, for example, I was never able to do fantasy, but hard surface is my thing. I can do anything hard surface, but fantasy somehow is a totally different aspect. You know, there is that let's call it realism. That
yeah.
I mean, sorry, what did you want to say?
No, go ahead, please.
There is that realism where you know, science fiction you can bend it, but in fantasy you can't. And
yeah, exactly.
I see that every time when the new movie comes out, and there is for example, I remember Witcher, and everybody was posting those armors. Everybody who knew anything about them was posting, and they were saying, oh my god, what is this? But that doesn't happen a lot with science fiction, because in science fiction it's still something that you never saw, and you can bend it a bit more, I have a feeling.
You can get away with a lot more crap in sci-fi simply by saying, hey, it's sci-fi.
Yeah,
you know, it only like needs to kind of look, it might work. Like it doesn't have to be completely technically functional or whatever. Like, I mean, same applies, for instance, like in high fantasy, medieval stuff like that. Like in high fantasy, you have like armors that are like all to the skin. Like you have those scales going like this all to the skin. Like there's no way a person could move in that. Like if the armor wasn't made of some super elfish magic material or whatever. But then you also get away with a lot of stuff that way.
I like that you said that magic. Every time when I was studying even industrial design, I remember people bringing some stuff that don't work. And industrial design is very exact. You can't bend a lot of stuff there. It's not a concept art. It has to work. Ergonomy, function, proportion, everything needs to work. So aesthetics play a very small role in industrial design, which is quite strange to say that because it is a design, you know. And I remember when we were students, every time somebody would bring something like that, we would say, it's a magic. When he couldn't explain magic, magic, how it works, you know. So yeah, it reminded me a bit of my studying days. And
yeah, it's a lot more fun when you're working on stuff that you get some like what's it called, functionality in it, of course, but like mostly like just playing with shapes and contrast and stuff like that. That's the most fun you can have designing, like when you're not constantly thinking about the restraints of the physical world and like how it should function and stuff like that. Although those are like really important principles for majority of design, but like sometimes it's great just to like doodle like this and like not think of it how it would work, or just fucking draw something interesting.
Yeah. What is the thing that you struggle the most when you are working in art?
Oh, the fundamentals, man. Like it's honestly like the most important principle of any artwork is like the fundamentals, your perspective, your composition, and, colors, anatomy, like all that stuff. Like you can do the greatest like design in the world, like if all people can see is like crooked legs or short arms or like wonky perspective, it's gonna throw off the intended like result you wanted.
Yeah. Yesterday I had a guy that wrote to me. He sent me an illustration and he was like, can you check my illustration? I told him I don't do illustration work, but I can do it and check what I like and don't like. You know, you'll get a lot of times messages like that where you're like, why am I even being asked this? I don't do this, guys. When somebody sends me that, but I always try to be polite and answer the question. And he sent me, and everything was wrong on it. From perspective, there was a house in the background that was falling of the characters. Characters had light that was literally different on each piece of the arm, had different light than the leg on the character. Shadows totally different, shapes totally different, muscles totally different. And then I sat and I was like, okay, he is learning, not a problem, you learn everything. And I was like, he's missing so much of the fundamentals. If he knew the fundamentals, the freaking cylinder, box, and circle and ball, he could do it without a problem. Because if you master that, it's so much easier, right? So much easier. Everything is made out of that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like again, like most people when they start, you're doing it for fun and you just like want to make this cool thing. And like a lot of people don't have the opportunity to have like I went to an art school, and for all its like shortcomings and stuff, like I did have like a proper anatomy teacher, I did have like perspective classes and stuff like that, so I spent a fair amount of time like just doing basics. I did a lot of like life drawing, which is really important. I did a lot of like studies, stuff like that, like not the coolest shit in the world, like we all want to draw cool robots, cool elf warriors and stuff, but like you got to go through that first. Like I think like it's really important to not master, like you rarely do you ever master anything, but like get it down to a point where you can confidently like draw some stuff from your head, make it look at least believable, like not so far as to like people's not to have people's first reactions be all look like those legs are wonky, like that's it.
You know, drawing boxes, cubes and stuff like that, I just looked for something in my papers, because you know that I write everything and that I'm planning to make another book after the Inside 44, and this book is not about science fiction universe but about psychology and design. And I have written
Memoirs of DARMAR.
Memoirs of DARMAR, the Memoirs of Geisha DARMAR. But here I have written because checked a lot to how people react in art and how they behave. And one interesting very thing, and you reminded me because this is from 2014 and I have it written. You know what's the average time of the student learning boxes, balls and cylinders and drawing lines and circles on the paper? You know what's an average time?
No. No.
No
idea.
6 days, and then they quit immediately because it becomes boring. 6 days. Can you imagine that? I wrote that because I have always been a very stubborn person, and I can endure a lot of pain, especially psychological one, thanks to my ex-girlfriends. I'm joking, but yeah.
No, you're not.
but I was trying to endure it, and it can be really painful. And I always say people that art can be very painful, and then it starts becoming very interesting because once you learn all of that stuff, your art starts becoming much better. Ooh, I have a crown on my head. You drew me a crown, man.
Of course. Prince DARMAR.
By the way, this design is really good, really good.
It's trashy, but like it'll do for chatting with a friend.
I like it. I like especially the shoulder pads. Shoulder pads are super cool.
Yeah, that's something that's like difficult to do in 2D, but like once you start working in 3D and you see like disrupting the silhouette with like forms that like go out of the general silhouette, like is a really cool way to make stuff interesting. And like now, like it would be super easy for me in 3D to add something like that cool here that goes over the chest and stuff. It's a bit difficult now to imagine it in 2D, but like if I did it in 3D, it would be like super cool.
You know, that's one of the things, and it's an excellent subject that you started. I noticed that some things are so much easier to do in 3D. So much easier. And fast, especially ZBrush, Code, Blender and stuff like that. You can do it really fast. And that kind of, I call them, how do I call them? Ins and outs, because they separate literally forms. They are especially easy because you can see them immediately and feel them. And that's what...
Yeah.
What makes for you a good design, Nemanja? Let's speak about armor because you're designing one now. What makes a good design?
I mean, dude, like it again boils down to the basics. Like if you just look at the fundamentals, sorry, same difference. Flow, like. Flow and like the amount of like busy details, like I'm gonna focus a lot of details here on the chest, then I'm gonna have some like rest areas for the eye to rest on, and I'm gonna try and move out through the entire design and repeat that. And then that's the way you get like a rhythm in your design and flow, and that's what like keeps your brain and your eyes happy. That's like what makes a good design. It's rhythm.
I see that there is a lot of influence by Anthony Jones on your work.
I mean, of course, yeah, man. Like I loved what he had to say when I was doing like his workshop. I was for sure influenced a lot by his stuff. There's plenty of other artists I also like look up to and admire, and like both consciously and unconsciously like picked up a lot of stuff from.
Yeah, you know, your design is quite different than his. It's quite different, and I like it. But
I mean, I would hope so. Like, I wouldn't want to go around like just copying Anthony's stuff.
Yeah, like, true. But it is very different. But for example, what happened? I watched his tutorials like 4 years ago. And I studied design. I studied car design with some of the best people in the industry and learned proportions there and stuff. But nobody explained me proportions and values like Anthony Jones in freaking 40 minutes of the video, like literally. That was my experience with it, you know. And for example, what is amazing when your sketch, except for my head, is that you did in 20 minutes. Literally, I can feel the design. I can literally feel the design on your sketch, and I love it. That's a really good job.
Yeah, that's why we keep going back to like fundamentals. Dude, it took me like almost 10 years to make this. Like the anatomy is probably trash. There's a bunch of stuff wrong with it, but like I think you can at this point like believe that this is like something that might be able to work like in the real world. Like it probably some of the more client requirements that are just like so over the top, like intentionally, like the intent is to make something over the top, where like minimalism is out the door from just like the point of the brief. Like you can't make it like sleek and stuff like that. But again, like even with over the top stuff, you just like keep following the fundamentals. You need to make sure like that stuff is balanced, that you have like rest areas for the eye, that you have like busy areas. It always applies the same stuff. It just the design itself varies.
And where is your career at the moment? You're a freelancer, right?
Yeah, I'm super happy with it at the moment. I'm working with great people at Volta.
Your career?
Can't really say on what, or I can, but I don't know. I haven't asked, so it's better not to say anything. But yeah, we worked on some great stuff. I got to work on some really cool IPs, and in general, yeah, dude, I'm like I hate to say this because life is gonna like butt fuck me like the moment that I say it, but like yeah, I'm doing fine and I'm happy.
Yeah, life has a tendency, like when you relax, it has a tendency to slap you over your face, like wake up. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope you deserve to be relaxed now, because I know how much you worked and tried to improve yourself, so it's well deserved.
Wow. Thanks, man.
It's very well deserved. And would you ever work in a studio again, or it's just a freelance in your head?
Oof, dude, if I never have to work in a studio again, I'm perfectly fine. Like the way it is, like working from home. I've been doing it for so long, and it just works for me. Like I know how to set up my own schedule. I love the freedom that it affords me. Like the fact that I can go out, have my workouts, like do some chores, do some stuff, and like still get work done. Like at the end of the day, I'm never late with my projects. Well, never. Very rarely. Very rarely. I don't want to be an asshole, but yeah. If there isn't like a super specific need for me to like for some reason go into a studio, I'm really like happy to continue working as is.
Yeah, for me, for example, I don't know. Sometimes I wish I was in a studio, because I don't have boundaries. I literally don't have boundaries. I can work 24/7, and then when I wake up and I'm like, why am I so tired from everything? Why am I so broken? And I don't know why am I so broken. That has been happening for 6 months, and then I realized, well, dude, you are working 14 hours a day. Have you ever questioned yourself that you can maybe work 9? And yeah, it was one of the sobering moments for me, for the freelance, where you lose yourself, especially when you love what you do.
No, I mean, yeah, of course, man. Like when you have to look after yourself as well. We talked about this, like when we talk, like one of the more important things when you're freelancing is like keeping your health in check, like both physical and mental, because that shit can run away from you. And if you're not healthy, both mentally and physically, you'll not be productive. You'll just like suffer, and that's not something you want, like both in your life, both in your personal and in your professional life. It'll affect both.
True. Do you have a timer when you are working, or how do you manage your time?
No, not really. Like I just know like this needs to be done today, like, and then or this doesn't need to be done today, you know. Like that's also something that you need to learn, like how to like not like go like into that 13th hour that day, because like most of the time like something can wait just like another 5 or 6 hours, so you can get some sleep, like refresh, and then like finish it tomorrow.
Yeah, true. And
most of the time.
do you feel the consequences when you stay longer? When you, let's say, for a week you work 13 hours?
Of course. I had like a burnout last summer because I was working like 3 or even 4 jobs at the same time.
I remember that. We talked.
That was like turned into a bit of a
that was very brave from your side to take that much work, to be honest. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's unfortunately like the nature of freelancing is like you take it when you have it, because like you're constantly living in like I might not have it next month. For some like top level artists, I assume that's not a problem, but like for me, for a long while, it's always been like, do you just like take what's on the offer? Like you never know like what's around the corner.
True. I had, for example, different problem. You remember when we talked, I would take a lot of projects because I would be also afraid that I won't have work, and then projects would appear that would pay us 3 projects, and I would be like, well, I can't take it. And then I started being a bit smart more about that, and I would give myself room a little bit, because I mean, we are always chasing that money. We spoke about that, and sometimes we are chasing it even though we don't need it that much. I mean, everybody needs to eat and that, but sometimes we are over chasing it. Like, do I really need it now? Do I really need this much? You know, is anything gonna change? And yeah, that was always for me. But since you mentioned burnout, and burnouts are quite, they happen a lot of times. It happened to me also. How do you recover from them?
Oh fuck, you just like take a few weeks off. Like, honestly, just stop working and go outside. Like that's one of the more important things that I started practicing before like we went back to the 14th century and like we have a plague. I started going out to nature like every weekend. I joined like a mountaineering society. I like went on trips with them and just go to nature and like rest your eyes and stuff.
Yeah,
like there was like I read about like your eyes were meant to like at least a part of the day like look beyond like 2 or 3 kilometers in the distance.
yeah.
Again, you spend your days like focusing your eyes 30 centimeters in front of you, and of course I'm blind as a bat, you know, because they like with everything, like they don't get a proper workout and they start fucking failing.
Yeah, it's I don't think the people even understand how much we are pushing our bodies. It always looks, he's drawing.
Oh, and yeah, dude, sitting, like that's the new fucking smoking, basically.
I remember new cocaine. We're doing cocaine. Like, yeah, I remember when I was reading about Michelangelo when he's doing the Sixtine Chapel. And he was doing it, and you know that he needed to lay down and draw on the roof. And they said that he had so much serious health issues after that it was insane.
Oh.
What happened? What happened?
Yeah, my Photoshop crashed, and of course it didn't save anything.
Oh my god, Prince DARMAR. Let me print screen that. I'll have it on the screen. I will let me print screen that until it doesn't disappear. So
damn it, Darko.
I have print screen it, and I will return you the file. I know it's a small resolution, but yeah, the stream has ended. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Why did the stream end? Close stream. Okay, you can start streaming, and I will give you the file back. In this resolution that I have, I had a lag.
Yeah, just give me a second, maybe.
Okay. Until then, you need to watch me until Nemanja sets everything back.
Oh fuck yeah! Thank you, Photoshop.
Okay.
I haven't recovered.
Okay, perfect.
I lost some work. Let me save this first. God damn it.
It happens, don't worry. We are on a chill stream, everything happens here. I would like my chest to be a bit bigger. And my nose. And my nose can be a bit...
No, don't break again. Please don't break again.
No worries, I have a file here. And I have now my goblin nose back, as Nemanja is preparing. Like this, I'm like a pig. Did you start streaming?
No, just give me a second.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
I'm playing with my nose and my ears here, as you're fixing everything. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me return. Let me return to your join stream. Okay, we are back. Yeah, it happens, don't worry. I mean, it's a chill stream, so we can do whatever you want, and not a problem if it crashes. So yeah, it saved almost everything. Perfect. What I wanted to ask you, what happened? Yeah. So yeah, you go hiking and stuff like that, and you relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. I wish I did it more. I wish I went to nature more, but as I told you, after I finished Inside 44, now I'm relaxing a bit more. I don't work on weekends, I don't work after 5, I do only client work, I work a little bit for myself, and that's it pretty much. And I think that at one point I also was like burnout, and I didn't even realize it that I was burnout. Going festivals, going this, going that, yeah. Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, so apparently Liquify crashes my Photoshop every time, so we won't be using that.
Why do you think it also ends your stream, you know? I know
Nah,
that's because the screen disappears. The screen disappears. No worries.
It's video drivers.
Ah, yeah, that's very possible. That's very possible. When you start streaming, you start to realize how much stuff is destroying the streams and stopping them, and it's crazy. It's crazy how many stuff affect it, you know?
Just see where I saved it.
Let me know when you start the stream so I can open the screen again.
Yeah, sorry about this, dude.
No worries, no worries, it happens. So guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do hit the subscribe button, because we will be bringing more guests. We will have guests every 2 or 3 days now because of this corona situation. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. For now, Nemanja is drawing me as... Did you turn it on?
Nope, just give me a second.
Okay. Okay, we are waiting.
Here you are.
So yeah, hit the subscribe button, guys, and I will be probably cutting out this because yeah, life is hard. Okay, the server is up. Join stream, and we are back. Okay, don't press Liquify anymore, please.
Nope. Nope.
So we were talking about, yeah. And did you go to any festivals before? I know you went, but which ones did you go to, and how was your experience with them?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I went to IFCC before THU. Man, I loved it. Shout out to Marco and the crew.
He's one of the next guests on the stream. And
oh yeah, that's gonna...
He has been a big supporter of me from the start, so I want to have him here. Yeah,
IFCC was the first festival I went on, and it was one of the greatest experiences in my life. Like for the first time, like connecting with so many like-minded people, like not just like from the same industry, but like we all love the similar stuff, like movies, TV shows, comics, like, and the conversations and friends that I had and met there, like that's priceless.
Yeah,
also like there was a lot of like cool classes, but let's be honest, I spent most of my days in what was the coffee shop called VIP.
Yeah, I remember we were sitting every morning there, like, are we going to the lectures? Okay, we are. Maybe we are not. I don't know.
No. The first time that I went to a lot of lectures. The second time I was there, I flew in from Poland, and I was pretty much just drinking the entire time.
Yeah, you know what's funny about when we mentioned the lectures and stuff like that. The industry is so small that if you go to 3 festivals, in 2 years, you'll probably hear most of the lectures already, because the industry is so small and they don't have anybody else to bring, and it's very hard to come to some people and to call them. And that's one strange fact. I think that was the moment that I realized how small this industry is.
Yeah.
It was like very strange for me to see how small it is. It's not that big that I expected it to be like.
I mean, I also have like, you of course never should stop learning and stuff like that. But like after a while, it kind of diminished in like its value. Me like going to those lectures, especially because I've been to a couple of festivals, seen those guys like talk, and most of the time I know people love those like. When they come out and then they hear like personal stories and stuff. For me, that's cool, but
I love that.
Yeah, but like, how useful is that for your advancement as an artist? Like, really, honestly.
That is true, but it has a different side to it, and I will tell you what I think about that. I think for me, the festivals, but that's just me, in my opinion. The festivals are for me a boost of energy. I know that everybody says that they are introverts in this industry, 90% of people. I'm not an introvert, I'm an extrovert. And I go to that festivals to charge my energy. And when I hear that kind of stories, especially success stories and stuff like that, how people overcame their problems, it boosts my energy. Also spending time there with people, it boosts my energy like crazy. After that, I can work even harder,
Sure.
Destroy my body even more, if that's possible,
Yeah, for me is like I'm an extrovert when I drink. The rest of the time, like not so much. But like I'm an extreme extrovert when I drink. So like during those conferences, like I'll talk with like 600 people, no problem. But like when I get back home, I won't talk for like 2 weeks with anybody, just so I can recover.
Too much talking,
because I'm that spent.
Yeah, but they do the festivals do get you tired, pumped and tired at the same time, especially if you are following everything. That's very, very true. But at the end of the day, they energize me, always.
Yeah, and again, I just want to iterate, like, best time of my life, like on IFCC, like life-changing experience. The next one was THU, also like on CDP, and like I got to talking with them, like I believe they thought like, hey, this is somebody we can work with in an office environment, which is super fucking important when you want to get a job at a studio.
True.
So yeah.
True. I completely agree with you that it's very important. Like that kind of festivals, they definitely. You meet people, you start to understand what is the industry, and you start to understand how that people act and how everything works. You get a lot of information that can be found online and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's definitely very important. Very, very important. I agree. How that people act and how everything. So yeah, I completely agree with you that it's very important.
Yeah, I mean, we talked. Yeah. I mean, we talked about this like personally as well. Like, there's like a couple of different ways you can get your foot in the door. Like, one of them is like just be a total fucking badass, like just insanely good at what you do, and like people will be calling you no matter what, just as long as you're not like printing stuff and posting it on your basement wall. I mean, like just doing basic stuff like posting on ArtStation and if you're like really, really good, you won't be having like problem finding clients. But if you're in that like kind of middle section of your career, you're still developing, still starting out here, you're looking for those like what do you call starting positions? I know there's a term for that, but like
junior.
my brain is exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, then networking and like those like personal contacts, that's one of the best ways to go.
Yeah, I agree on that. I completely agree on that, and that I mean, handshake will always be a handshake, no matter what, you know. Totally different from internet. Still, people are very precautious when it comes to internet, no matter that there are laws, there are contracts and stuff like this. However, I think that that's gonna change dramatically now after coronavirus, because everybody is forced to work from home.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, one of the like for us maybe better things. I think that there's gonna be a lot more like freelance options coming up now, especially since people are gonna be forced to see like that. Yeah, I know why some things can't be done outside of the studio, but like, I mean, most can. Like, if you take like proper precautions and stuff like about security or whatnot, not leaking, yeah, most stuff can be done by outsourcing to freelancers.
Yeah, and after Corona now, there is no other way to do it. And I think that people will start realizing that the whole companies can work from home. The whole world is gonna change.
Yeah.
That's my experience. Everything's and everybody's working now from home. Gaming is blooming literally because everybody's working also from home. I'm sad for the Hollywood. Unfortunately, it's in a big problem because for a lot of jobs there you have to be on site. But gaming is blooming literally because they're working from home, and I think this is literally a test for the humanity that the whole companies can work offshore. It's not that before they didn't work, but this is first time that everybody's forced to work like that.
Yeah, we'll see some major social changes after this. Like, that's for sure. Like, if it's gonna be better or for worse, we'll see. But like, there's gonna be some major stuff going on.
Yeah, every difficulty brings good and bad things. It's always like that, and we shall see. I think that this will have a lot of impact on our industry, and let's see where that goes. Are you keeping yourself safe, by the way, sitting at home?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have to, like, not so much for me. I mean, of course for me, but like, I have my parents are 65 and 67. Yeah. So because I'm taking care of them, I really, really like take precautions.
Same with me. 64, and it's better that they don't hear me that I'm saying they're 64. They're always lying for their age, that they're 50. but yeah, and I'm also in a risky group, so I'm trying. I'm in a super risky group with the diabetes, and I'm like literally hiding at home and slowly dying. But it's better to stay safe than to go out. So I hope, guys, that you're safe and that you're not going out. By the way, this is a perfect moment for learning, right?
I mean, yeah, but like, I also like saw one of these posts that are like, you're not obligated to be at your most creative at the fucking world pandemic, which I agree with completely, because I'm feeling some of the like effects of sitting in my house the entire day. Like, my schedule is really like different than usual because of a lot of stuff, and it affects you. Like, and I agree, like, if you have the mental tenacity, like, to push through it, yeah, of course, man, you use it to best of your abilities to further your education. But like, I wouldn't want to make people feel guilty about not working at their like 110% at this time. Like, there will be time.
Oh, absolutely. Everything comes when it's needed to come. I mean, for me, for example, this is good time for learning because you don't have anything to do. And I'm talking with my friends that don't do design and don't do freelance. They go to companies and work. They're all freaking depressed because they're not used to sitting at home, you know? It's totally new
yeah.
for them. We had some time to prepare ourselves, a couple of years. Like,
yeah, who would have thought?
Who
Like,
would have
you
thought?
think
Yeah.
like those guys like that have like hunting bows and like bags of like cans with beans and stuff prepped in some like bunker were like ready for this, but now it turns out like freelancers.
We will save the world and build a new economy. Yeah, it's a strange thing. And what kind of advice would you give to a young version of yourself, if there is a one advice that you can give? Talking about art.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I wish I started on this path earlier, but I don't know. Like, everything happens for a reason, man. Like, I think like if I was like in high school with this kind of like amount of knowledge available online and like courses and stuff, like I don't know if I would have even gone to like art school. I don't know if I would even like finish high school. No, honestly, man, like, because that's a lot of, it's like 10 years wasted,
Yeah.
like doing completely irrelevant stuff.
But wait,
okay.
it was wasted it was wasted when it comes to art career, but parties and stuff like that, come on. I mean, socializing.
Sure. No, I'm not. I'm just like saying, like, it's not so much as advice, so much as like I wish I had the opportunities like that younger artists starting now have, and they have a lot of them. So they should just like. There's a lot of free stuff. There's a lot of like paid stuff. Even the paid stuff is like really, really, really worth it. Like I've seen so many guys that come out, such better artists. Even Adam Isailovic.
Yeah.
Have you seen like the stuff he's doing now after one course at CGMA? I think.
Yeah, I saw he's doing architecture. Looks really good. Like those illustrations are some high level.
I'm super happy for him, man. Like it's really a next step in his career.
Absolutely. It looked like a different person doing it. And I want to mention one course now because I'm planning to do it, and that's Jama's course, man. Did you see the work from his course?
Yep.
Man.
I mean, I've seen stuff for years. It's a machine.
But the course that he did and his students when they were posting the work.
Yeah.
Man, that's some insane stuff. Those motorbikes in the dust, like what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, and that was like 6 weeks course, and they went from intermediate to super professional. Yeah, crazy.
No, I agree completely. That's some insane stuff on his part.
Yeah. What's that on my shoulders? It's something to stab me, to kill me.
Be some glowy stuff. I don't know, man. I'm just like throwing.
I look powerful.
Well, you should. You're the prince of the universe.
Prince of Serbia, please. If the Serbia is universe, then okay.
Don't get started on that.
Wrong subject. And will you be putting the color on it?
Oh yeah. I mean, we have time, right?
We have 30 more minutes.
Sure.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Guys, if you have some questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will check them out and ask Nemanja. Thank you all for coming and supporting the stream.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for coming. I don't know who's there, but like, thank you. Thank you, one person. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
Uroš is here. Uroš, the plum is here.
The dad.
The dead bot. But yeah, you know, one thing that I like, since you mentioned Serbia, one thing that I like about our community is that we are hanging out quite a lot. And We are hanging out a lot. Uroš, that is in chat, he sent a smiley. You, Milan, and Sava, and others, we hang a lot and we talk a lot. And I'm very happy that we managed to do that and that we became friends, not just colleagues.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, this industry is a bit dry when it comes to friendships and stuff like that. A lot of people are only working and using the opportunities. And I'm very happy that we managed to become friends because you're one hell of a guy and there is a lot of cool guys, except for Uroš, he's not that good guy. We are of course joking, Uroš is a great guy, that's why we are mentioning it. And a lot of great guys, and I liked when we spend time, we drink beers and we eat and we go to dinners. I like that a lot, and I wish for everybody to have that kind of community because it's super important and super supportive of everything that people do.
Yeah, dude, it's a pleasure as well, like to know you guys and to hang out with you guys. Really, like it's some of the best time I have, like, is hanging out with you guys.
Same with me. I'm really enjoying it because we are the similar minded people, you know, we do the similar stuff, and when we hang out, I always advise people when I tell them to make small communities. Like, I think they are super important. I mean, we talked, I'll give one example. When I worked on the book for these freaking 4 years, I always asked you guys and you would always help me with everything and give me an advice, and that was freaking important for me. I would literally die if you didn't help me, like in those moments, because that was like a fresh of breath air. And I'm very thankful for that.
No problem, man. It was always a pleasure to see some of your stuff like beforehand. Like it's always cool.
Yeah, thanks.
And yeah, dude, I'm super excited like for you to finally push this out, like once this crap is over.
Yeah, thank you. We will do that. By the way, they are saying that they love your process, Nemanja. Sir Nemanja.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not something that I would usually do. Like when I'm doing like client work, most of the time it would just be like maybe a like black and white silhouette or something like this. Yeah, and then it would be like a really loose what do you call line art.
Yeah.
And then the ambient occlusion, the doing like graphic divides like this, and then like finishing details in color. That's like my usual process. This is just for fun because I have way more control in the way that I described.
What I want to know is next. How did you become so skillful in silhouettes?
I did a fuck ton of them. No, really, like it's super fun. Like that's one of the most fun for me like parts when you just start doodling, and like a lot of this is nothing that I came up with. Like I learned this from a lot more experienced people, and for instance, like when you're trying to get something really original design wise, like you'll start doing silhouettes and you'll notice like the first 3, 4, 5 that you do are gonna be the same usual crap that you do like every time. Like it's the first thing that your brain goes to, but then you have them and you see them, and then you try doing the next ones to differentiate them from the previous ones, and then like push the next ones to push even further from them, and like then make combinations and stuff. And that way like it gives you a lot of like controlled randomness and gives you a lot more fresh design than just like if I just started like this is pretty generic, like,
yeah,
to be honest, like pretty generic, because I did no variations. I just started like pushing shapes, and this is something that my brain just like farted out, like this is what I'm used to, let's go with this, you know.
but they still look very good, even though I understand what you're saying. It's I figured out that because when I was pushing the book, I worked like a maniac to finish stuff, and I was like cutting corners on each turn. And then I would look at designs that I did where I did explorations. They were like 50 times better than the ones where I went immediately in a design.
Oh yeah, there's also like one cool thing that like people forget, like you'll get this like cool silhouette, cool sketch, and then you like start like getting into it and really designing it. And if you don't check like regularly to see if you're following the silhouette, you'll find, for me at least, like most of the time, like I worked like an hour on it, and like I'm super into like detailing this shit, and I pull out and it's fucking crap. Like the original is so much better in terms of design, proportion, whatever. And you need to keep checking that. Like if you really liked some sketch, like of course you need to improve it and it will evolve while you work. But like keep checking back, like if you didn't like ruin it by working on it.
It happens to me a lot, and I figured out to fix that by putting all the new layers in a group, and I'm clicking on them every minute. It can be exhausting.
Yeah, sure.
It can be exhausting, but for example, I had always a problem when I was doing a character that the head would be positioned totally wrong after some time because I would steer away from his position. I would use DAS or something like that, poser, when I would have a pose, and then I was like, man, this is hard. This is hard. Like you lose the proportions and everything, and it's exhausting. But I think it's better to have one good design than to make more bad, you know. So yeah. Can I choose the color of the armor?
Sure, man.
Can it be blue?
Sure.
Perfect. I want blue with orange, like the car.
Okay. Just give me a second what I'm doing here.
Oh my god, look at my royal face. Look at my royal face, how it's looking at you. It steers in your soul like Mona Lisa, literally.
You're beautiful.
Be quiet, Darko, be quiet. Check. We are moving to Serbian, guys. Check means wait. Yeah, the crown is making problems.
I just need to separate that stuff so I can color it.
Do you go immediately? Do you sometimes go immediately in color, or you mostly go black and white like you showed?
Very, very, because you need to have like such control of your values to be able to work directly in color. That's some next level shit for me. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that can do it, but like I'm not at that level.
Same
like
with me.
For most things, like if you can like make your process make you do as less stuff in a single go as you can, like so you can think about less stuff and like focus on fixing one thing instead of three at the same time, like the results are going to be better in my experience, at least.
Step by step. Yeah, I completely agree on that. For example, for me, it's also impossible to work in color. Impossible. Like, I don't know how people do that. My brain can't process it.
Yeah, I'm not that great either. There are some like tricks for that as well.
Also,
you said
blue with the orange, like a car from inside for you know.
Yeah, we'll see if I can pull that off.
Ooh, it looks nice. You're making it a bit darker, I can see. What's the process now? How do you handle it? You use overlay?
Yeah, because color? Like I had some white here. Like when you add color, like you add color values to your grays. Like if it's too white or too black, there's no information like that can be added there, because like I don't know if you're getting me.
Yeah. And you put it on overlay, right? Or you try different layers and then see which one works? How do you put the color?
Oh no, I'm just using for now, like I'll just use like the basic like colorize, but then I'll use the color balance to add like different tints to different like parts of the value range. So you see you can have like mid-tones. It have some slight variations there. Also, one of the cool things you can do is gradient map, where just see like this, something like this. You can add like variations to color on a blend mode, just so it's not like basic colors, and then you can just like go through it, see if you spot something. Again, like this is very a random process, like nothing.
But it gives a lot of variation, and I like how variations work. Yeah, it's
just want to avoid like making it look like it's straight out from a tube, you know. There was something like this.
What kind of brush did you use? You used just one square brush, if I saw correctly.
Right? Oh yeah, I used this one. This is a brush I made like 1,000 years ago. It's like a marker
from
brush.
the rock, from the photo of the rock that you took.
What?
From the photo of the rock. I'm joking.
I don't know.
I don't know. But it's your custom brush, and do you think that your custom brushes improve the design? Because I think they give a certain flavor to it.
This one's cool for drawing like what's it called, hard surface stuff, because it gives you like angles already. Like if you use the round brush, you wouldn't like get these random cool angles and cuts. You see?
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, people have drawn way cooler stuff than this using dick brushes. So, you know,
literally
like actual like dick, like, and they drew way cooler stuff. What do you call the lights and stuff like that? But this is like very loosey goosey, and it's not what I would.
Oh my god, the stream just dropped. I don't know what's the reason, but I realized that it dropped 3 minutes ago, and some of my best jokes didn't go through. Oh my god, guys, why did it drop? I don't know, but we are continuing. Why the hell did the stream drop when I had the good jokes? Never mind. I'm sorry for that, guys. OBS decided to stop it. Maybe my jokes were horrible, that's why I decided. But what I said, I think you didn't hear me. Yeah. So I see that I have some. So what's that on the shoulders? It's something glowy, but what?
I don't know, man. It's like some holograms, sci-fi magic shit.
Something that's shiny.
Yeah.
Why did it cut off the stream? I have no idea, guys, but I apologize. I saw it did it 20 minutes before. Like it's set to do it on every 20 minutes. I don't know why. But we are back now, like immediately. I don't know why it happens. I don't know why it happens, but yeah, it did happen. Anyhow, I was saying that I look like Mira from Aquaman with this crown. And where is Mira? Here is Mira. Maybe I can have green color also. Who knows? Okay, here is Mira. View image. Here I am, guys. This is how Nemanja perceives me in real life. My gentle side.
Yeah, I have a picture of Darko like from real life. I'm just drawing that. Like this is not my design. Like this is just like how Darko goes out when he goes clubbing.
Yeah, that's me in the club. Me and Miro. Aquaman. Aquaman. Yeah. And so you're using now color and dodge as we talked, and I removed Mira from the window, and you're using color and dodge and a bit shadow setting, so it gives flavor and depth to the image.
Yeah, dude, again, like this is very, very rough, but I'll use a myriad of layer blends. Like now I'll just, like most of the time when I work, I'll try and use the least destructive layer types. Like like I'll have like a basic layer where the design is, but like whenever I want to add like these like colors, lights, rim lights, shit like that, I'll make sure it's in a separate layer. I'll make sure it's easily editable, because that's the stuff that will get like reviewed most of the time. It'll be like, hey, move this and that, or even like if they request like changes in the shapes beneath, then I can just change that and like rework these layers without like having to repaint everything and stuff like that. So I'll quite a lot like think in advance like how to make like editing stuff from reviews, like easier, like how to make life easier on me. And I'll work in quite a bit of layers until like stuff gets finalized. And that's disgusting.
So you like to have more layers. You're not the guy that likes to have only one.
I mean, I was the guy that like did everything in one layer, but like with everything I learned over the years, it's super unproductive to do that, because every change that you need to make is going to take you, it's super fun to work that way, and it's sometimes faster depending on what you're doing, but like in a production type situation where you need to make like a lot of changes during the day quickly, it's really not useful.
Yeah, because some people like to use only one layer, and I remember one thing. When I was watching Feng Zhu videos, he did one video that was like, Jesus Christ, 7 years ago. He did a video where he said use only one layer. And it was crazy how liberating it was to work in one layer, and how much the design can change when you work in one layer. But as you said, you're not productive, but I think you're more lucid. You're more lucid. That's the feeling I have, if you relax, of course.
It's now, of course, it's a better feeling in a bunch of ways, but again, like I said, for production work, when I'm doing stuff for clients, I'll keep it in layers, make my life easier, because like most of the time, like you need to expect like reworks.
I don't know why, but the stream has again stopped, and I don't know why OBS is doing this. We are back again. Like, I have to check that it stops. I have no idea why it stops, and I'm sorry guys for that. I'm sorry for that.
It's recording, right?
It is recording, and we come back. I hope that it comes back and everything, but I have no idea why it stops. OBS just does that, and people then leave and they have to come back, and it pisses me off every time. Maybe there is a shortcut that I put, and that when I click something it turns off. But I have no idea. I will check that out. I hope that guys understand that this is happening.
Sorry, guys.
And I don't know, but we are recording. We are going on. I hope that it doesn't do that again, because it's a shame. Okay. What's that on my head now?
Yeah, it just felt like, basics of compositions. You want to try and make like stuff go in trees.
Okay, now I know what's happening. Every time, okay, I caught it fast, so you didn't drop. We are alive, so people won't drop. Immediately we got back. But what's happening, every time I move a freaking image to the side, it stops the stream. Because I moved Mira, I wanted to show to people Mira that I look like her. This is the third time I'm doing it, and it immediately dropped the stream. Why? I have no idea why, but it's doing that. I have no idea, so I won't be moving Mira till end of the stream. So yeah. And what else? What are your favorite subjects to work on?
You got me there. Like, I'm not that picky regarding subjects. It's like the way that we approach work. I like when ADs are like aware of why they hired me. Like, they're aware of what I can do, and they're like, okay, like here's the task and stuff, and they'll of course correct me, and I appreciate the input every time. But like when they give me like freedom to make the design my own, like when there's like not a lot of like micromanaging, like those are my like favorite like jobs.
I see. And do you like doing characters or weapons or?
Oh, characters, definitely. That's something I found myself like liking the most, and probably being the most proficient at. I mean, I can do weapons and I love doing them, but so far I've mostly done like a bunch of characters for the stuff, and vehicles as well. I don't know. I don't have them posted, but I've actually done quite a bit of vehicles for clients.
You should post them. You should post them, definitely.
Well, I can't.
NDA, I know. NDA.
I would, but
freaking
I can't.
NDA. I have some work from 2017 that I still can't post. And I am like, what the hell? Like, these NDAs are crazy. But you know what's fascinating? Character design is the most saturated market in the world. Especially when it comes to design, not in the world, but when it comes to design. Sorry, my brain is stopping because I'm looking at myself and Nemanja designing me. And it's such a saturated market. And I was always like wondering, why is it so saturated? Why are there so many character designers? When you go on ArtStation, character design gets the most likes. So one character have...
It's human nature, I think.
Yeah.
Like the human form is the closest thing to us. It's something that's very familiar to everybody, and because of that, like a lot of people just like it and understand it better, I guess, than a lot of other stuff.
So I totally agree, and I was analyzing that, and I got the answer from the place where you would least expect to get the answer from. So I was like, why do you get 1000 likes for a character? And then there is a hard surface design that is like somebody spent months on it and gets 300 likes. And we'll touch the likes subject after this. And I was like, I got the answer from the place where I least expected it to get. And it was Instagram. People are naturally drawn to the faces. And it's a psychological nature. The posts on Instagram get 70% of likes on the whole market. So if you have a face on the Instagram, there is 70% chance that you will get a like that if you have something else. Of course, there are girls with naked bodies and stuff like that, but the face is number one. Something is attracted, like, I can trust this person. And it translates to sketches. You immediately judge them like they are living beings, which is crazy, you know?
Yeah, dude, no, I agree completely. Like, that's just how our monkey brains work.
Ah, yeah, monkey brain. I remember when you said that we were playing Apex and we were jumping off the cliff, which was 40 meters, and you feel like you're literally dropping. Like, what the hell is happening? Like, I literally felt it in my body.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good when you know those things. That's a lot of stuff like psychology. Design is really important. Like some of this stuff like happens randomly, and like some people can do it like intuitively, like just know what good design is in their gut and stuff. But it's like really cool when you have the actual knowledge, like of why psychologically stuff works the way it works, why it has like certain effects on people, like why certain shapes project security, why certain shapes project like danger, colors as well. Like it's something that I don't know if a lot of like beginners get into, but like once you get serious into this, it's something you should really like see about like learning, because it's an important part of this. Again, like some people can just guess it like naturally, but like it's really cool if you know this stuff.
True, very true. Psychology is 90% of the design, and I always give this example that you said. For example, when we were working with the Chinese in car design, we would send them batches of renders, and they would just return us and say, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And their management had a really bad English at that time. That was 2012, something like that. They were still entering the world of design and so on, and trying to build the world brands, the car design there. And they were developing like crazy, and they would just return the sketches and say, this is bad, this is bad. And we never got the answer why. And then eventually we got the answer that triangles in Chinese culture represent bad fortune.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah, and the whole Audi is designed in triangles, which is amazing design. But if you send that to Chinese, he's not gonna like it because it's in his culture. They like circles. Circles for them are number one.
There's like stuff when you're doing illustration work, for example. Like in the Western world, we read from left to right. Yeah. So when you have like a protagonist and an antagonist, or a good guy and a bad guy, you most of the time, like the figure that's on the left side or entering from the left side, I think, is immediately perceived as the good guy. And yeah, and if it's coming from the right, it's perceived as the bad guy.
That's very, very, very interesting. Like crazy stuff.
I might have like missed a detail there or two. Like don't like quote me on that, but like I'm pretty sure that's the way it works.
So guys, when you're entering a festival, you don't come from that side, you come from the other side if you're entering festival. Or the company. But the door is on the other side, I can't enter. You don't enter. Yeah, those psychological like things, it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. I know that the comics implemented one psychological moment in our head, and that's that if a guy is really, really big and proportional, you immediately think that he's a villain. Because of the comics that started doing that in 20s, and they started making really, really, really big guys and they're villains. And then there was a Hollywood era where they were doing that, and people perceived them as evil guys, you know.
Yeah, there's like stuff that's cultural and like even like recent culture, but then again there's like stuff that's so fucking entrenched that it has to come from like our earliest ancestors. Like for example, that most people will find a picture of a mountainous area with a road leading to the seaside extremely pleasurable and extremely calming.
Yeah. Yeah, there is also. I know that the people, not just Chinese, but people in general, when they see circle on design, they are attracted to it. And I know that that's because of the. It looks like an iris of the eye, and it makes them look at it to check if what's this animal person gonna do to me.
Yeah.
Because eyes are are the door to the soul. So yeah. We are finishing soon, guys. Please hit the subscribe button if you still haven't. It would mean a lot to me, and I will continue doing this channel also for support of Nemanja. As you see, he painted me as a very, very cool character. I feel very powerful. Are you finishing that almost? It's almost done, I can see.
Yeah, there's not much there. Like, I mean, trash, but
I like it a lot. I mean, for 1 hour and 20 minutes, it's very, very fun. It's very fast to do it, and I'm always impressed. I don't know, the people I think they don't know how hard it is to draw at the same time and talk. It's freaking hard, and you're doing it without a problem.
Yeah, it's I told you when we started, it's actually reversed for me, because I need something to keep me focused on what okay, for different kinds of work. Like when I'm painting, with like at this point when there's design laid out and stuff, like I'll need some like background noise or something like to stop me from like checking Facebook every 2 minutes, or like I don't know, doing other stuff with myself every 2 minutes. Working from home, you know.
Yeah.
So like having somebody to talk with for an hour and a half is super good for my concentration, because like now I can only do these two things. I can talk with you and I can work on this. Like I can't go on Facebook, I can't go do other stuff.
Freaking
I mean,
Facebook.
I could, but it would be really weird.
Like, can you imagine opening sliding Facebook all the time? Can you imagine, like, yeah. Yeah. I think that most of the artists have that defect, like literally that movement of the finger, alt tab, alt tab, alt tab, alt tab. Yeah. Okay, then we can finish this stream. I really enjoyed you coming to the stream and joining me.
Oh, thank you, man. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and I hope like this continues. Hope you have a lot of guests.
Thanks,
and
man.
I hope like your book does tremendously well once you decide to publish it when it's proper timing.
Thank you for everything. You know, you're getting a copy from me because you supported project from the beginning, and you supported everything from beginning and saved me in a lot of situations. So thank you for everything. Thank you for joining me on stream, guys. Have a beautiful day or the evening. I don't know what's time at your place. And thank you for coming and joining. Hit the subscribe button and see you on the next one, which is on Friday. Goodbye, guys. Bye, Nemanja.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for coming. Bye.
Bye.